I'm going to give a quick recording about the divergence since I receive a lot of the comments. They ask me what I mean by divergence. And if we refer to the MACD, what I want to say is that whenever we have a higher high or lower low, then at the same time you refer to the MACD, MACD, and then from there, if you are in the uptrend, we use the higher high. When we are in the downtrend, we use the lower low. Okay, when the chart the way is moving and the MACD they are not in the same direction, at that time we can look for divergence. I'm not going to give about the definition, all these things, just I want to see how we can look at the divergence. All right, and for example, if we put this top new high in relative to the previous one, as we can see that the top is almost higher high. Okay, and if I put my line here, we end up trend, for example. But if at the same time, so if I move to the MACD, we see is losing the momentum. Okay, they are in this different direction. This is, we call it the divergence. As you can see, they are not in the same direction. It's losing the momentum. Even here for the down move here, if you put this low in relative to the new low, lower low, okay. If we put if I put my line here, at the same times, if I move to the in the MACD, we see is losing the momentum. This is what we call it divergence. Very simple. That's why I just try to make it as simple as possible. Okay, but we should know that we are not using the divergence to see the reversal or even for the deeper correction. Okay, mostly we use the divergence. That means we are not getting the signals from the divergence. What this mostly this divergence tell us where the price is going to change the direction, but all the times is not that accurate. That means we cannot use as a signal to we cannot use them divergence to look for trade or signal. All right, mostly we use the information from the divergence and MACD. It depends on the indicator we use. We combine with our strategy, which is a Elliott wave. Then from there we can get, I mean, we know where the price can either move for the deeper correction or the price can reverse. But we need to have our own strategy. That means we're using the information with our strategy to know what's the next move. Okay, simply we cannot use the divergence to look for trade. Okay, that's mean whenever we're looking to the divergence, we want to be use the information from the divergence to complete our analysis. This is what I can see. And this is how we can look at as simple as just I try to make it very simple. Okay, for example, if I move to the ETH, we will see same things. All right, we have been looking for this graph. If we put this top in relative to the previous one, all right, that's mean if we put our line here, if I remove everything, if we refer to the indicators, we see is losing the momentum. All right, this is what we can see. We have a divergence, but it didn't change the direction. It gave us a correction continuation, but at the end we put this one in relative to the previous one. If I put my line here, in the bigger picture, we see still we have a divergence. But at the end, the prices start to turn to a deeper correction. Okay, but when we're using the divergence, we're referring to the bigger picture. Then we, based on the analysis, how we have been looking for this as the first correction and the last, then from there we could make a decision whether the price is going to drop or not. If we refer to our analysis, after the breakout of the stop, I was highlighting the price can drop. Okay, and the second one for the lower low, if we move to here, if we put our line here, as we can see the price is dropping, but if we move to MACD, we see the divergence is losing the momentum. As we can see, almost is lower than the previous one. All right. Still, we can consider this one as a divergence. It depends how we use it. That's why if we refer to the Bitcoin, when the price was within this move, I was keep mentioning, let the price drop. With the breakout of the previous low, we can see the divergence, and this is what we get. Then from there, we mentioned we want to see how deep it can go. Then whether we can look for the reversal or not. This is what I was explaining. It doesn't mean, that's why I explained. It doesn't mean even, I mean, if you refer to what analysis for Bitcoin, I mentioned it doesn't mean after the price break the previous low, we can look for reversal. Okay, that's why I was keep I mean highlighting. Let's wait for the correction. We want to see how how deep the price can go, and we want to see whether we can look for the internal flat or not. Okay. By the way, we use the divergence in combination with our analysis. Then from there we can find the direction. Anyway, this is how we can use the divergence and to combine with our trading strategy to look for trade. We don't use the divergence, only divergence to look for trade. Okay. Anyway, I just try to make it simple. I hope it helped the traders. But if still they need more information, they just let me know. I try to give more details on that. But as simple as what I mentioned. And again, as I mentioned, we are not using the divergence to look for trade. We use with our trading strategy. Then from there, we make a decision whether we are going to get a deeper correction or reversal. Thanks.